Hi, I'm Alex Kidman from Fat Duck Tech, taking a look today at Parrot's new mini drones, the Jumping Sumo and Rolling Spider. Parrot as a tech company is undeniably best known for its variety of mostly Bluetooth, mostly in-car systems, but in recent years it's also produced a number of quite cool quadricopter drone products. They're big boys' toys with price points to match. Parrot's new drone products, the Rolling Spider and the Jumping Sumo, are a little different and a little bit more affordable. Now, that's not quite the same thing as cheap. The Rolling Spider sells in Australia for $139.99, while the Jumping Sumo will set you back $219.99. They're not inexpensive, but they're cheaper than a lot of drones you can buy. The Rolling Spider is roughly analogous to Parrot's existing drone lines, in that it's a small quadricopter with stabilising wheels that both protect it during indoor flight and allow it to roll around on the floor if flight really isn't your thing. Then again, if flight isn't your thing, the Jumping Sumo, which is effectively a remote control car that just happens to use Parrot's Free Flight app for control, is probably more your speed. Setting up either device is quite simple. You charge them for around 90 minutes to full capacity, switch them on, and then connect the ad hoc wireless network each device creates. You then pair them to Parrot's free iOS or Android app for actual control purposes, at which point it's time to play. The Jumping Sumo is notable for a couple of factors. It's capable of a number of twisting, spinning and jumping stunts at the tap of a button, as long as there's enough battery left to try. On the minus side, it's stuck with a rather inflexible 90-degree turning scheme, but it's undeniably fun to play with, and it's undeniably fun to watch it try to jump obstacles, or for that matter climb stairs, even when it fails spectacularly. It's fairly solidly built, although not to quite the same standard as some remote control cars if you're really into that scene. The Rolling Spider, on the other hand, should be the show-off of the pair because it flies, or at least it tries to. My own tests with indoor flight were very unsatisfactory, with it struggling to maintain any kind of level flight. Maybe that's the airflow in my test space, maybe it's the review sample I've tested with and something is ever so slightly off level, but taking it outside to fly immediately improved matters, as well of course as giving it a lot more room to manoeuvre around. So far, so good and so much fun, and these are fun things to play with. But there is a catch, and it's quite a large one. Either the Rolling Spider or Jumping Sumo will take around 90 minutes to charge, but you don't get anywhere near that in terms of flight or drive time. The Rolling Spider is particularly poor in this regard. I averaged around 8 minutes of flight time from each charge from start to finish. And that's just long enough to get your juices up and raring. And then you've got another hour and a half before you can have another go. The Jumping Sumo fares a little bit better, often hitting maybe 15 minutes of driving time before conking out, and a little more if you're gentle on the stunts. I'm aware that battery life is a bane of most remote control toys, but it's quite marked in the case of these two, especially as there's no spare batteries or internal chargers to be had. If I was buying one, I'd definitely plump for the Jumping Sumo, partly because its stunts are just more fun, but also because it's easily the more solid of the two. The relatively fragile nature of the Rolling Spider, with its low flight time, makes it the lesser of the pair. Either of them still fit into that big boys toy category though. You're spending a fair amount of money for a small amount of fun. It's an intense amount of fun, but it doesn't last long.